Good morning.
Good morning, Jeremy.
How are you doing today?
And I'm good. Got a little sinus stuff, but it's the normal for this time of year.
Yeah, well, yeah, that it's that time. We're going into that transition from warm to cold.
Well, in Mississippi, it can change every single day. It's chilly in the morning, and pants and hoodie weather in the morning, and the time you get in the afternoon, it's shorts and t-shirts.
So you're right on that cusp.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be probably 68 right now. It says
No, that's not bad.
that's not bad. Um,
Let's see, it's 57 here, which
we
is
had
bad.
We had bad storms come through last night about 9 to. Hey, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Bad storms come through from about 9 o'clock. Tornado watches and stuff last night till about 3 in the morning. Which luckily nothing happened. I was at work last night, so we all actually got to sleep all the way through the night.
A lot of things going on over here. Been on the road an awful lot this past week. I was able to get it to where I could stay off the road yesterday and today, and then tomorrow get right back into it.
Where would you go last week?
What's that?
Where'd you go last week?
It is nothing I can talk about right now.
I got you.
Yeah, it's not the right time. Let's put
I
it that.
got you.
But eventually, I can talk about it.
Okay.
So, but for the time being, I just gotta put up with the grind of the road. Um, I've been trying to get it to where, see, the first few days I wasn't getting home until after dark. The first day it was after midnight when I got home.
Mm.
Um, then it was 10 o'clock, 10:30, then 9 o'clock, and lately I had been the last couple of days I had got it to where I was home right around 4ish, so that I could have my time in the evening to do
I got you. Well, hopefully it's positive.
back away from the microphone.
Sorry.
Holy cow!
I've got my beats on today, so they're really good.
I ate for the show, so so let's get into it. What was it? 2 weeks ago now?
Uh,
It was just last.
last week.
Damn, time it just seems like a whole lot of time has gone by since then. So, so last week, a week ago, yesterday was Crown Jewel, and for the first time, it was in Perth, Australia, whereas normally it is in Saudi Arabia.
All right.
But the reason it was in Australia this year is because they are going to be in Saudi in 3 months for the Royal Rumble. Um, and and
And
it's
that
actually going to be one of three events that they're having next year. So that's why they only did one event this year.
3 months in January.
It's October.
Gosh, dog, getting here
Yeah,
quick. Yeah,
November,
yeah,
December, January.
yeah. January, and then right around the corner is WrestleMania again.
I know.
Gosh, seems like we just had it.
Well, WrestleMania was a little bit later in April than usual, but we did just have WrestlePalooza, which I don't know why they settled on that name because they could have, if they really wanted a big event, they could have pulled something from like Starcade but but
Yeah,
they
that's
are
just a
using the
dumb name.
Halloween Havoc name.
Right, just a dumb name for it to me. I don't know. Who knows what they're thinking?
It was something that they had to come up with really quick. I think everything was thrown together in less than a month.
Yeah, it wasn't all that hype. Uh, so WrestlePalooza was that that was Tiffany or not Tiffany, but Stephanie.
That was when Stephanie and Io
Yeah,
and
that was the best match of the night, definitely.
yeah, yeah, it was. Um, and then at Crown Jewel, um, Stephanie didn't have quite as good a match, but it was still a good match.
Everything on the excuse me, everything on the Crown Jewel was pretty solid as far as match wise. Now, really couldn't get into these. Well, it wasn't really much of a storyline to it, but it was just a match between Cena and AJ. Um, but for the entertainment value, it was a good entertainment match.
See, I'm trying to see what the attendance was because it's not listed on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
I'm going down the edits to see if somebody had put it on there and then removed it. Because some of these people, especially this guy, Stranger Man 123, he seems to be a real stickler for every single thing needing to have a source for it. But I'm not seeing anything where attendance was announced not on Wikipedia.
Right. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere on Wikipedia either. Um, they just discussed where it was and all that stuff.
Yeah,
It seemed like they were over there for a few days, probably a week, I would say,
yeah.
um,
Oh, wait a minute.
and and even afterwards.
It was 13 something. Yeah, it was 13 something because on Monday night they announced the 3-day attendance for SmackDown, Crown Jewel, and Raw. It was all in the same building, and they made an announcement that it was 40,000 and something
For the 3 days.
for the 3 days. Yeah, so they had 13,000 and some change, which is pretty decent.
Yeah, um, you gotta remember too. It's like a long way away from the states. That's one of those countries I would love to go visit one day.
Absolutely.
Um,
Just
I
have
like
to make sure you plan ahead of time for the weather because they have the exact opposite weather than we do.
right. England would be another place I'd like to go. I'd like to go to England, Ireland. Um,
Hi, Stephanie. And
hey, Stephanie.
she must have heard you say,
Says something about the UK. Yeah, I'd like to go to England. I would love to go to Ireland, Scotland. Uh, but who knows?
the British Isles. Yeah, I'd like to go there too. I would love to just go see Stonehenge. I know a lot of my friends over there say that Stonehenge is overrated, but here's the thing: it's in their backyard.
Right. It's like stuff here. Like if you lived in close to Colorado, the Grand Canyon would be like not that big a deal to
Right.
people living right there. But
Yeah. So for us, it's a big deal. For them, maybe not so much because they
Right.
can go there whenever they want. We don't have that luxury.
Right. It's not a day trip over there.
Right. So let's get into it. The first match. Now, for whatever reason, people were saying this was going to be the main event. I don't see why it would have been, considering the list of matches that they had. But people were arguing that because Bronson Reed was from Australia, they would have him in the main event. But there's no title on the line.
Even though he's from there, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that big push for. He's still a main player, but he's not a top guy.
He's
As
getting there.
far as getting there, but
Yeah, he's getting there. Um, and he does pretty good for a man his size.
he does. I think there's a lot more. Uh, you can stop anytime. Thank you. I don't know if you're seeing that flash or not.
I am. I'm trying to ignore it.
Um, there's a lot more storyline that has to happen with the Vision, and of course we'll get into all that. Recently watched Big Daddy Giant Haystack Calhoun. Is that who you're talking about?
Oh, she's named it the old
That's some
doll.
old people, old. Yeah,
Daddy, Big Daddy was one of the biggest names in all of UK. He was basically their Hulk Hogan back in the
'70s.
60s or 70s. Yeah, he was the most popular wrestler there when for his time in um, oh, and Giant, not Haystacks Calhoun, Giant Haystacks. I know that name. Uh,
I'm
oh,
old school.
so Giant Haystacks. I don't know if you remember this, but he had a short stint in WCW as Loch Ness. So he was brought in as part of the Dungeon of Doom, and he was with Kevin Sullivan, and we're up there too.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm old school. I watched wrestling in the '80s, Mid South with JYD and Ted DiBiase and Steve Williams, and all them those guys.
yeah. So Loch Ness was in WCW for just a short amount of time. Um, Giant Haystacks, and he was supposed to be the next challenger to Hulk Hogan. This was right after he had the feud with the Giant Paul White, and then he got sick. He was diagnosed with lymphoma,
Hmm.
um, and so he had to wrap up his WCW days real quick, where he took a loss to the Giant, and then he went back home and he passed away 2.5 years later.
Hmm.
But yeah, he was supposed to be the next big challenger for Hogan, and then life
Got
got in
sick.
the way.
Got
Yeah,
sick. Um, Stephanie, do you remember Adrian Street?
isn't he still wrestling?
No, he passed away. He passed away uh, over a year ago, or close to a year.
Oh, then who am I thinking that's still wrestling? He's about 70 years old, but he's still built like a brick.
I'm not sure. Adrian Street passed away. I actually contacted him when we started. I guess we was about a year in, and I contacted him through Facebook Messenger. I actually got contact me about coming on the show, but at that time they wanted so much money to come on, which
No,
neither of us have.
he died over 2 years ago,
Was it 2 years? Yeah. Um,
July 23.
yeah. He was one of those flamboyant wrestlers back in the day. You had a few of them here and there, but I always liked his persona wrestling.
Yeah, I see his ring attire. Holy cow!
Oh yeah, he was, and he was straight. His wife was actually his valet, Miss Linda. I
Miss
think she's
Linda.
still alive. Yeah, she's still alive.
So Adrian Street was basically Gold Dust before Gold Dust became Gold Dust.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Goldust took it to a whole new level.
Adrian Adonis did the same thing too in his later years.
Yeah, Adrian Adonis did. The Street was always he had the ponytails, pigtails, all the makeup. I mean, he was like, and he come from a coal mining a mining family, or his dad was in the coal mines, or was it coal mines, or was it
Yeah,
steel
Cole.
mill? Yeah. So he was a man's man. Uh, and his passion was wrestling.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
I'm sure him and his father probably got into a lot of arguments over what he wanted to do.
oh yeah, I watched a documentary on him. It was a really good documentary. But you did hear later on in life that he found out that his dad, talked highly of him, was very proud of what he had accomplished in his life, even
That's,
though he didn't, wouldn't tell him to his face, I guess.
well, I do know that there were a lot of wrestlers when they made that choice to train for wrestling. It was back in the early years. It was almost like a
What
thing
are
of
you doing?
shame to parents.
Right. What are you doing? Yeah, that type of thing. Yeah. This
Huh?
is different. Do what?
What?
What? No, it's like yeah.
Are you asking me what I'm doing?
No, it's like the parents asking the kids, "What are you
Oh,
thinking? What are you doing with your life?"
okay. I was. Wait,
And
wait a minute. Why are you asking me what I'm doing? I'm not doing anything.
so, I mean,
Yeah,
now it's
there was a lot of parents who weren't happy
couldn't
with
understand.
decisions, not proud, things like that, and then eventually they would come around. Yeah, there you go. She's joining in
And
with
what?
us. What? I feel like we got Steve Austin on the show now.
Oh goodness!
Yeah,
What? What?
yeah. What? Um, but yeah, getting back to Bronson Reed, he's got a bright future, and I was glad to see him get this spot. I know right now they got a lot of high hopes, deservedly so, for Braun Breaker, but I think it would be criminal to not focus on Bronson Reed as well.
Well, they're not big name guys right now. They are, I feel, going to be um, the future in a year or two, maybe more. Um, but it's like don't push them too hard right now, too quick. Kind of like they did with Jade Cargill. They tried to push her a good bit and get her out there to me, too early. And it's kind of backfired on her and them.
Yeah,
But she not
Because
getting off of
we all
on
remember what happened with Roman Reigns when he first came out.
right. With Jade, not getting off the subject here with talking about Reed and all that, but man, that gas she caught, that stair shot she took in her head, man, it was
Uh,
rough.
yeah, that was
And
and
they were blaming a lot of it on Naya, but it's just much Jade's fault for not preparing herself for that shot as it was Naya for doing it. She didn't get her hands up in time, and she took the stair shot with her head.
well, there were a lot of mistakes made in that match. That, and then the
Yep.
whole thing where Naya thought that they were going to go ahead and end the match.
Yeah, the whole 3 count, 2 count. Yeah, that
And
was a whole.
it was right there.
Yeah, it was just a big.
Holy! I remember watching that. Yeah, this is not good. This is not a good showing for them.
No, I mean, it looked like something you would find on the Indies, or a house show somewhere. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Um, and of course, I know people are going to give Naya the blame for this, but I don't think she's to blame for this at all.
There was a miscommunication between all of them,
Yeah,
between Nia, between the ref, between Stephanie, between Jade. You know,
Tiffany.
yeah, I said Stephanie, didn't I? Tiffany, not Stephanie.
Well, actually, isn't that the referee's name? Like no, Daphne.
But anyway, back to Crown Jewel. Um, you know, I thought it was a decent match. Got the notes here. Um,
Daphne LaShawn. That's her name. Well, that's her ring name. Her real name is Asia Smith. She's actually born in Brazil.
really. Well, they were talking about on social media about her wanting to. They're pushing to get her fired and all this stuff. I was like, why? I mean, you still use the chairs.
Yeah, they still use chairs, just not quite like they used to.
Oh, you're talking about in wrestling? Yeah, they still use chairs. They don't hit in the head now. They hit on the back a whole lot. Of course, the chairs. The way you take those chair shots is the flat part is the part you hit with, and not the bottom side of it. Which I've seen some mess ups here or there. And you as a guy who watches wrestling, I look for that when somebody gets a chair. It's like, all right, he's got it facing towards him. He's fixing to get hit in the face with it himself. You can kind of tell how they pick it up, who's fixing to get the chair shot, whether he's going to deliver it or he's going to get it kicked into his face or her face.
Yeah, well, we talked about um, I think it was Survivor Series last year when Naya was using the chair in the War Games match, and it looked like she was just
Tapping them.
yeah.
Yeah, Barrett, I'm going to touch you with this chair. Yeah,
Well,
being
that
too cautious.
she's super strong. So if she were to lay in on it, she could really hurt somebody. Um, Actually, did they use the chair in this match? Because it was an Australian street fight between Bronson and Roman. Um, Good match to start with too. I thought. Um, they did away with him stealing the shoes.
Hmm.
Um, and did you hear about the copyright infringement over the shoes?
Hmm.
So they made a shirt for Bronson, and it said "Tribal Thief," and it
Right.
also had shoes hanging down on the side. Well, Nike got a hold of them and say, "Hey, looks looks like our
Shoes.
product." Yeah, so so they had to scrap those shirts and make up new ones that just said "Tribal Thief."
God, I wonder how much those shirts are worth if you can get a hold of one.
Now, probably a lot
I bet
because
they had to
I
destroy
have
all of them.
no
Though.
idea how long they were for sale before Nike made them stop.
Yeah, still just like some of the old ones still in wrestling, like Cena, Miz, Orton,
Yeah, they're
the
all
guy dressed in all black. I can't remember. You talking about Undertaker? You can remember Cena and Miz, but you can't remember the Taker. I'm just messing. I'm just messing. Yeah, Cena is on his retirement year. He's got like one or two more matches, or one or two more shows rather.
well.
Miz is
More dates, at least two more matches.
yeah, Miz is still around. He's old. Orton's still around. And of course, Taker has retired. He's been retired for a couple of years, but he's still around.
5 years now, 5.5 years. Undertaker.
Yeah,
That's how do you not remember Undertaker? He's the most legendary one of all.
yeah. And if you haven't followed wrestling, we've lost Hogan this year.
Hmm.
He passed away. It's been a bad year for. I guess it's a bad year any year, but it's like
Yeah,
Hogan's gone, Ozzy's gone, Ace Frehley just passed, um, and Ozzy and Hogan were like back to back.
yeah.
So
Um, 1 day apart or 2 days apart.
yeah, it was like, good lord, who's next?
Um, we lost Diane Keaton.
Yeah, she died a few days ago, about
Yeah,
a week ago.
lost her. Um, lost.
Well, I'm older than you are. I'm 54, so
Let's see. We lost the Major Houlihan from MASH.
I forgot about Hot Lips. Yep.
Yep, she died this year. Um, there's been a lot of people, but every year it's a bunch of big names, and they keep saying, "Oh, this is the worst year for celebrities." No, every year is the worst year for celebrities.
Well, I mean, as we all get older, the you know more and more people that we grew up watching or listening to or being entertained by are passing on because they're a lot older. You know, Flair's still alive. He's still kicking around.
Even he is surprised by that.
Um, oh, it's much different now than it was back in the.
Even 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's a whole lot different. It's very well known and it's all scripted and storylined, and they don't try to make you believe it's all real. It's you know, and people always throw out, well, why you watch wrestling? It's it's all fake. It's all fake. Well, I was like, well, so is television and movies, but you watch that stuff.
If you have Netflix, you can be able to watch Monday. You can watch all of them: Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT. You should be able
Is
to.
all of it's on Raw? I mean, all of it's on Netflix. She can.
Globally, they are, yes.
She can. I can.
Yeah. and also can watch all the PLEs on uh, well, WWE PLEs. I don't know about NXT. I still have to switch over to Peacock for that.
I got you.
And with Halloween Havoc being Saturday, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch the very beginning of it because I got the Perry Unity convention. Um,
I've got a rank test Saturday scheduled for most of the day from 9 to 5 ish. So I've got several students going up their first couple belts that morning. Then I got teens and adults that are going up for purple belt, a bunch of them, and then I got two that have been with me for 6 years. One's going to red, and one's going to high purple. So, matter of fact, at 2 o'clock today, I got to go down and do a mock test with my two higher ranks. Make sure they're all good to go for Saturday next week.
okay, back to the matches. Um, so with Roman and Bronson, we knew Braun Breaker was going to get involved. Um, so it was him, and then the Usos came out. It is 125 for me and 1225 for him. So the Usos came out, and then normally when you have a 2-on-1 situation, especially in a street fight, normally the greater number comes out on top.
Mm-hmm.
But not this time.
Well, I had in our chat, I think I had mentioned about because we do predictions and all that also, and I predicted uh, Bronson winning this one with outside interference. Just so happened to be not the correct outside interference that caused the match, but all the same. And I was looking at it, I was like, man, I'm 5 for 5 on this. Now my reasonings for certain ones winning or stipulations involved in the PLE was not correct. Um,
Um,
but as far as match for match, I got 5 for 5 today.
I'm going back into the chat because I can't remember who all I picked. Uh,
It's gonna be a ways back.
yeah, I see that. Well, oh yeah, Chris was bitching about not being able to watch the thing. Okay, 11, 10. Okay, yeah, so that's okay. Surprises. Okay, here we go. Predictions. My predictions. Okay, I had Roman going over. And then I also had the Kabuki Warriors beating Rhea in EO with EO turning on Rhea. Stephanie over Tiff. Seth over. I said,
Yeah, I see that.
it's supposed to say Seth over Cody.
Cody.
Yeah, and then Cena over Styles. So I got 3 out of the 5.
I got Bronson win with interference. Rhea and Io win. Kari turns on Oscar, which that didn't happen. Stephanie wins. Seth wins with interference. Cena wins. Um,
So
the
you
Seth one,
got 5.
yeah, the interference didn't happen. So
Well,
and Io didn't, or not Io, but Zayn didn't turn on Oscar. That's coming though.
yeah. So you got 5 for 5. I was 3 out of 5. So
Now, I
um,
thought during this match, during the Roman and Bronson Reed match, I thought it was funny there. Roman dug into the garbage can and started throwing rugby balls at Heyman. Can't throw worth a crap, but it
that,
was funny all the same. He kept hitting ropes and everything else,
well, he got one to land on Bronson.
but I thought that was pretty funny.
It was funny, and it's perfect too for Australia because remember when I don't remember her opponent, but Selena Vega
Hmm.
when she had her match in Puerto Rico a couple years ago. Um, Somebody had given her a flip flop,
I remember that vaguely.
and that was real significant for where they were at.
Hmm.
Um, so the same thing here with Roman and Bronson. Uh, so a lot of tables were involved on this one, where what? Yeah, yeah, because people were getting speared and slammed through the tables
Yeah,
before Bronson did the splash pin Roman, and that's where the family drama comes in after that.
hmm,
Um, Roman is screaming at them like he did back in the old days. Uh, but the funny part was he was like, "I love you, I love you, but I don't want to see any of you all until Christmas."
yeah.
That was thanks for hanging out with us. Oh, and I can relate to you on eye surgeries. I've had a couple of them myself.
Yeah, good luck on that, and thanks for stopping in.
But yeah, that whole thing about not wanting to see him until Christmas, I didn't catch that at first. I had to go back and watch the replay because somebody had commented about that. Um, so it was one of those things where if you're not really listening in on what he was saying, I knew he was badgering them, but I didn't catch that part. Um, then when I saw that comment, I went back, rewatched, and I almost had to have the speaker to my ear. And
Mhm.
when he said that, that's pretty cool. It was pretty funny. So so now it makes me kind of wonder. All right, what is going to happen? Um, because the rumor is that Roman and Jay are going to be on the same side at War Games. And that's just a month from now.
Right.
So I'm curious to see what's going to happen, and also the whole thing with Jimmy and Jay. What's going to happen between them because Jay's now got an attitude, and Jimmy's not liking it. So
Yeah,
what
you can see
what
something brewing.
to? Huh?
You can see something brewing,
Yeah.
and they've been hitting at this for a while.
I do think that Jay is going to eventually turn heel, but I don't know if that's the right move for them because of how insanely popular he is. Um, and they can't run with just with Jimmy turning heel because he's starting to build some real momentum with the fans now.
Right.
So I'm curious to see where this is going to go. Um, Next match is the women's crown jewel: Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany Stratton. I know a lot of fans were kind of iffy on this one because both have been on a real hot streak. But for me, it was Stephanie because Tiffany has grown stale on me. And I mentioned this in the past, but I have noticed the last few weeks where she is starting to get a little bit of an attitude.
You're talking about Tiffany getting the attitude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's been.
starting to get a little bit of an attitude. And I think she's just gradually going into that, sort of like what Cody did at the beginning of the year.
Well, she's not your typical baby face. Um, she always kind of to me had that persona of um entitled,
Yeah,
entitled. I'm gonna say entitled rich girl, but you know, entitled, kind of like a California Valley girl back in the '80s. Yeah, like
huh, that's a good way of putting it. I never thought about that one.
um, kind of like the Barbie entitled. You're gonna do what I want just because of who I am and my looks.
She actually gives me the Legally Blonde.
Yeah,
Uh,
but not quite as dumb.
right. Well, she is dumb in some ways, but incredibly brilliant in another ways. And
Yeah,
that's how she's kind of coming across to me here. I will say this: she has changed her outfit now, and she is showing off more of her body. And holy cow, she is fit.
well, she's got a background in gymnastics, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean,
Well, we knew she was fit, but now that she's showing off a little more of her body, she's showing how fit she really is.
right, like her abs and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I think with the outfit change, and now that she's starting to grow to get this to get this attitude thing going, I think it could do her well.
Yeah, to me, she's not a baby face. She's a borderline heel. But people getting behind it, the whole Tippy Time thing gets on my nerves. I really wasn't on board with that whole thing from the get go. It's like it's Tippy Time. It's like she kept showing her hitting her wrist.
Yeah.
This is annoying. You did it way too much.
Well,
Um,
they were doing that in NXT, um, and I never caught on to it until she moved up to the main roster. And then when I started seeing fans doing this, my first thought was, okay, she was late coming out, and it wasn't until it was one of her first matches on the main roster, I think. Um, and then it wasn't until after that was when I learned about this whole Tiffy Time thing, and then that's when I discovered they were doing that back in NXT. And I thought, ugh, that's not going to last very long.
yeah. As far as the match goes, it was a pretty good match all the way through. Seemed like it had a couple not really miscues, but timing was off a little bit here and there. Um, it was by far not as good as a match from WrestlePalooza with Stephanie.
Right.
To me, that match is going to be one of the matches of the year. It
I
was that good. Um, Stephanie, they're really pushing her, which I kind of knew that she was going to wind up winning this one.
mhm.
Um, the uh, that moonsault she does, a corkscrew moonsault she does, and she kind of missed it a little bit towards the end. She landed on Tiffany's arms.
Yeah.
I saw where the ref was kind of checking on her after the match was over, make sure she was all right. Um,
But still, that's a hell of a move.
it is, and when she did it on EO last month,
That was perfect.
it was freaking flawless. It just looked that damn good.
That was perfect. Everything on that one. This one here, she still executed it well. She just overshot her.
Yeah, just a little bit. Like I said, the match itself was good all the way through. I did see kind of a what's it? Is it Wade? Cole said something to Wade about whenever she did the Devil's Kiss. He'd be like, "I'm just going to hold my comments," because Cole's like, "Yeah, you got in trouble last time."
Um, Booker T is the one who seems to go in a trance every time she does that. And then there was when they did the NXT Homecoming, and Vic Johnson had had this thing, and he was doing this in sync with the Devil's Kiss.
To Booker.
Yeah, that was so much fun to watch because it was Stephanie and Rhea doing it doing it to their opponents at the same time,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and that was where Booker really lost it. Um, but it's a hell of a move because nobody had ever seen that before. Now
right.
WWE, what is going on over there?
You hear that noise?
Yes,
Yeah, it's my cat playing with something on the floor.
that's your cat.
Yeah, sounds really loud in the mic, don't it?
Well, it's loud enough to come through here.
Yeah. I think I can turn the mic down. It's either on or off. That's a good headset, good setup I got right here. It's too
Yeah.
good sometimes.
So so now Stephanie Vacquier is the second ever women's crown jewel champion, and then they bring out that massive belt.
That belt is ugly as sin.
It covers her. It
Yeah,
basically goes from her waist to her neck
yeah,
almost.
it's those belts are ugly. I'm sorry, they're just too big and gawky.
Yeah, I don't I don't know who in the hell designed those things.
And some Saudis.
Oh yeah, what do you think of the where they had the two guys carrying them
And
and
a briefcase and shining it and all that shit when they come to the ring. Yeah,
because the day before they when they had the kickoff show where Michael Cole does the whole thing with having people come out. Well, those two guys were standing there behind those championships, the whole time, just standing like Secret Service man, not moving an inch.
You can tell they're wrestlers. You know, the suits they wear and just are really freaking tight on one of the guys. And one of them had this some kind of mohawk looking thing with his hair. I was like, yeah, you stick out. You know, you stick out pretty good to be just a. You ain't no security guy. You're a wrestler.
It. I
But
wasn't.
hell,
I
but
wasn't
hell,
of
if
how
I was
they did that.
but hell, if I was in that position right there where I'm, I don't say wrestling flunky, but I'm one of the wrestlers in the school and all, and coming up through the ranks. Yeah, I'd love to be on the show, even if it's just being security guard.
Yeah, but I don't know if I could stand there and stand still like that. I just couldn't do it. I gotta move.
If you're getting paid enough, you'll do it. That and if you mess up, you won't get another opportunity.
That is
You're going back down to the bottom, boy.
that is true.
Fight your way back up to the ranks.
And there's plenty of them that's had to do that.
Yep.
Uh, so the next match, this one here to me was match of the night. Um, and this was also something that has never been seen before, where it's like 80% of the crowd were all wearing the same shirt. Did you notice that? It was a sea of yellow.
Right.
Um, yeah, never noticed anything like that before. I don't think something like that has ever happened in any wrestling event. Whoa! Is that your phone?
Yeah. Turn it down.
Um, but the fans came out there for John Cena, showing their support, wearing his shirt. But that was a sight to see. All that yellow. Is your cat moving something on the floor?
Yeah.
Wow, you got a damn good microphone there. So it was really cool to see all that support for John Cena. And then the match that they had was awesome. And then there was the introduction where John Cena had um, Alicia Taylor, I think is her name. Let me see. Yeah, Alicia Taylor do a special announcement for AJ Styles. And you could tell that he was not expecting that, and that he was genuinely surprised by some of the things that she said. Um, and then he went with it, getting in the middle of the ring and doing his thing when she says his name. And yeah, I thought that was a really nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went on to have a match like that.
Yeah, and you could tell when they first started the match, it was really kind of slow, and I know they had a lot of time to fill in to get everything they wanted to in. I guess it needed to start off kind of slow because at the in the middle and the end of it, it was just like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth,
Yes.
constantly. Um, I'm kind of with Chris on the whole too many finishers. You're kicking out of every freaking finisher there is. I get that. And it was a good additive to the match considering there is no storyline tied to this match. It's just two good performers getting out there and doing their stuff. Um,
AJ said it himself early in the week on Monday. Said that they don't need a story for this match. The story writes itself through the match.
yeah, I loved watching the different finishers, even though they kicked out of pretty much all of them. But
In a match like this, I would say it's acceptable. But keep in mind, I get the whole thing where it just makes the finishers look weak and the other wrestlers. But I go back to what Jake
Jake
Roberts
Roberts,
said about his DDT. He loves it when people use the DDT, and he loves it even more when people kick out of those DDTs because the one DDT that nobody could kick out of was his.
right? And nobody to this day, in my opinion, can DDT like Jake Roberts. I'm
Exactly.
sorry. It's just the way he does it, the way he. You think it'd be simple because all you're doing is falling back, but it's just like that sudden, just like bam.
Yeah. So so I always go back to that whenever they talk about, well, they made the finishers look weak. No, that just makes the person who really does that move look stronger.
Right. And it's the day and time where the one finisher, most of the time on your big matches, they kick out of.
Yeah,
You gotta up the finisher. You gotta come to the top rope with it. You gotta do 4 or 5 of them in a row. Depending on who you're fighting. So I mean,
and I also found out last night that the abdominal stretch used to be a finisher.
who did that? Was that like Chic or that's
I
an old
don't know.
school?
I don't know who did it. It's just I like to watch the Stevie Richards show on YouTube, and his co-host James Romero, I think his last name is. He's a British guy, and he said that in his researches through finishers and things like that, he found out that somebody used the abdominal stretch as a finisher. What?
I don't know. I just heard something.
I, it didn't come through on the microphone.
I could hear it in here.
Oh,
The
what's it sound like?
I don't know. I couldn't make it out. It wasn't nothing, paranormal wise. It just seemed it was just something like outside noise. As far as these headset, this headset is what I use to listen to EVPs with, and it's just phenomenal for it. It picks up so much stuff that you don't normally hear.
Okay.
But
Like I said, your microphone works phenomenal. Can-
yeah,
can-
and I use this whole setup when I'm doing live EVP sessions. So I got it tied into my recorder, and I usually put my recorder on my arm, and I'm sitting there listening, doing live sessions. I can hear everything that's going on. But
So with the finishers, I got a list right here. The ones that John Cena used were Skull Crushing Finale from The Miz, the Accolade from Rusev, Walls of Jericho,
hmm
um, Sister Abigail. That one probably got the biggest pop
yes, definitely.
as he
That
did,
one was.
and then all the Fireflies came out, and they actually lowered the lights a little bit,
hmm
um, and you could see that reaction with John, and then he does that little nod.
Looks up. Yeah,
Yeah, he does. He looks up and does that little nod for Bray. I thought that was just
that
awesome.
can give you, that type. Whenever that happened, it would give you chills. It was just that good of a moment in there.
Yeah, and he did a really good Sister Abigail too.
He did.
He
It was good,
just devastated as Bray's was.
and the crowd went just nuts with it.
They did. And then he also did two moves from Randy Orton: the DDT from the middle rope, and then the RKO. That was on John's end.
hmm
AJ did his own. He did the angel wings that Christopher Daniels did. That was where it looked like he's doing the pedigree, but instead of jumping up and down, he lifts him up and John's legs go straight up.
hmm
That's the angel wings. He did. Um, it's called Fade to Black from Frankie Kazarian. I don't know that move.
I don't either, but I see it on here.
Um, he did the Coquina Clutch from Samoa Joe,
hmm
which, which I think was probably his biggest rival back in TNA. Um, he did the Scorpion Death Drop from Sting, and then the Sweet Chin music for Shawn Michaels. That one there kind of surprised me because I don't know if he and Shawn ever shared the ring together or not.
I don't know. Cena, finishing up with his own move right before he does the, or
Oh,
right after he does the tombstone.
yeah, the Tombstone. I
That
forgot about that.
that one that one come out of nowhere, and you could tell that was like when he did it, and the crowd just went nuts when he dropped him.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good
Oh, and
way to
he did the
transition
he did
the
the
choke
choke
slam.
slam because AJ bent over and John grabbed him like that. I forgot about that one.
I thought it was a good way to end the match, because you got the Taker's tombstone, and then you did your own FU to finish off the match. And it's probably, it's like Taker's like, yeah, you can use it, just you don't kick out.
Oh, he loved that match.
Yeah, oh yeah, he did. He got on X and was praising the
Yeah, he loved
match.
that match. Um,
It
I
was
would.
one of those matches I think a lot of the wrestlers were pleased with,
Mhm.
the performance and all.
I wouldn't be surprised if this match ends up being nominated for PWI Match of the Year, simply because of what these guys did.
It was that good.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it was probably the best match of the night.
Oh,
Uh,
to me, there was no question. It was.
I actually got Cody and Seth as the best match um, on my list here, but I'm kind of going back on that. I think it was the better
That's
match of the night.
yeah. Cody Seth. That's my number two. John and AJ's my number one.
Yeah, my number three, and and it's hard to really hit anything past those two matches because the other three matches are that dang good. Um, I put Stephanie and Tiffany as the number five, even though it was a really good match. Um,
Somebody's got to be at the bottom.
yeah, I mean, it was still a good match, regardless. It would be a top match on any other spot because usually pay or PLEs don't have this solid a performance all the way through. Usually, there's a match that's like, they just should have done away with that.
Well, after the rating that they got at WrestlePalooza,
Yeah, um,
and they still only got a B for this one.
yeah, I saw that. They got a B. I got Reed and Roman as a B. Uh, the tag match, the ladies tag match, B plus. John AJ B plus, Cody Seth A minus, which I thought them two should swap.
I really need to get our website up and running so that we can be able to do like our own rating.
Ratings,
Yeah, but right now with everything that's going on, it's really hard to do anything but the absolute necessities of what needs to be done.
yeah, I
Uh,
got.
so going into the women's match, this is the other one that I got wrong. I was fully expecting to see Io turn on Rhea. Um, because I could see it happening this way that with the whole Rhea never beating Io, and then she's always kind of coming after her to try to get that, and Io gets tired of it. So she sets up this plan with Asuka and Kyrie to do this whole angle, make it look like that they are attacking her, but really what they're doing is they are luring Rhea into this trap. So I was fully expecting Io Sky to turn heel on Rhea during this match.
I was looking at more. I was looking at more, and even let's go back a little bit because when Oscar sprayed the mist into Rhea, and I don't know how much she had, or it was more Rhea smearing that shit all over. But man, she was blue from freaking head to toe. I was like, God.
Seriously,
And there was all kind of memes and photos, and it showed her dressed up like a Smurf, and I was like, my God, she is like blue.
no, she well, you can only hold so much in your mouth.
Right, so I think she was over in the corner, sitting there just rubbing this shit all over.
She did.
I was like,
Well,
my
that's what they
God.
all do. They're like trying to get it out of their eyes, and they get it everywhere else. Yeah, she was, but the following week she did that to Io, and she was the same way. She
But
was
she wasn't covered near as bad.
no, but she was still covered pretty good.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah, Rhea was she she turned into Rhea Smurfly.
yeah, she's like, good Lord, you are blue. What's
Yeah.
that song that was back in the 90s or 2000s? Blue is the color is the blue.
Whew. Yeah, she
I'm blue.
and you gotta wonder how hard is it to get that stuff off of the shower.
I was looking it up, and they were talking about it being like food coloring, uh, mixed in with some water or whatever.
Okay.
But of course, the great Muda or the great Kabuki, and great Muda used to do the spray.
Great Muda was the first one I saw do it, but I knew that Kabuki was around a lot longer.
Yeah, the Kabuki was he had popped in the Mid South area, and I remember him spraying JYD, Junkyard Dog,
Okay.
because I remember him Junkyard Dog because they even had on like the intro coming on, the show coming on,
Uh
and
huh.
even showed Junkyard Dog had him up like this, like holding him up, like choking him, and he sprayed it, straight down to his face and all. Um, that's the first time I ever saw the mist.
I bet that was a shock for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was like, wow, that is so freaking cool. There's a lot of good memories from seeing stuff there. I'm on a Mid South Wrestling group on Facebook, and we talk about um, old times. And
Did you ever find that Legends of Mid South that I told you I was able to get at Mega Replay?
I did not. Um, Actually, forgot about it. I need to
It
write that
might
down.
be on Peacock or Netflix, since everything else was, at least. I don't know if it still is.
I'm still looking for some old footage of Lord Humongous, aka Sid Vicious, or Sid Vicious, aka Lord Humongous, when he fought Private Pile and Sergeant Carter back in CCW. I can pull up old videos and stuff like that's on YouTube, but I cannot find the actual match. And I've got it on VHS somewhere. I just have to figure out how to get it from VHS
See,
to
see this China
regular media.
see this China Huts right here.
Yeah.
That is full of VHS tapes.
Let me ask you this: do you have any way to transfer that stuff over to like MP3 over to video?
I do not. I want to. Um, I want to digitize all these videos. I just don't have the capability of doing it. I know that there are ways to do it, but
Oh yeah,
it's expensive. Let's see, video cassette to digital.
I've got to be done in about 25 minutes.
Okay, so yeah, I was fully expecting EO to turn heel on Rhea.
I
Uh,
was really, I was really expecting Kyrie Zane to swap to turn on Oscar. Um, I was surprised that she didn't today, but I was like, eventually it's coming. Eventually it's coming, and I see Io and Kyrie Zane joining back up as a tag match, going after tag titles again.
yeah, I can see that happening because you see the conflict in Kyrie Sane
Right,
all
and
through.
there's really not many tag. Back in the '80s, you had so many dang tag teams. You in WWF at the time, and now it's like there's not that many tag teams anymore,
It's
whether it's female or male.
was just thrown together.
Right.
Yeah, they've lost that, and it's a shame too. Because those first couple of Survivor Series where they had 5 teams versus 5 teams, I love that. Um, but yeah, it's a shame that they don't do that. Or I know that there was a time when they were really bringing the tag division back up, but then it kind of went away again. Even
Yeah.
though they still have the tag titles, it just seems that most of these champions now are just singles wrestlers put together. We should do a show talking about nothing but tag teams sometime. We can go
That'd be good.
on and on about that one.
Yeah, that would, yeah, we should do that. Just bring up old tags. I mean, there's old school tag, Fantastics and Rock and Roll Express and Midnight Express. Um, even Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death Steve Williams tagged for a long time
I
back
don't
in the
know
day.
about that one.
Um, matter of fact, it came on my feed the other day. They were talking about Al Perez and Wendell Cooley versus Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase, where the loser had to wear these tight spandex wrestling uh, gear. And back then, they were wearing just the regular wrestling shorts. Uh, but they were talking back and forth, like, DiBiase and him said, if you lose, then you got to wear these spandex things for 30 days. And it was supposed to have been this big, leotard looking thing. And
Yeah, we should definitely do a show just on tag teams. So EO ends up getting the win, which was another thing that kind of surprised me because with it being in Australia, you would think that Rhea would get the pinfall, but it was EO who got the pin. Um, who did she pin? Oh, she pinned Kyrie. Um, and
yeah, she took some shots. She sold those moves really good. Um, talking about Kyrie Sane selling the moves that Rhea and Io put on her.
Kyrie is just so good and so dangerous for as tiny she is. Um, that elbow off the top rope that she does looks so devastating.
Hmm.
She's only 5'1".
Yeah,
She's 5'1", 115 pounds. But yet when she does that dive off the top rope, it's like you might as well have been 300 pounds jumping off. That's how devastating that move looks.
yeah. I mean, it's the match itself was really good. Had a lot of just a lot of different stuff in it. Inside, outside, high flying moves.
Yeah.
Um, I did. It was kind of there for a while. They were like really beating down on Rhea, and like it just didn't fit to me. Um, the it was like almost like Rhea was like just getting destroyed for a while. And I know they got to do all that, but just
Is a hell of a striker. She does one of those things that AJ does where it's like boom, boom, and
hmm
around and kick and more forearms. She hits you like 5 times in a couple seconds.
and her playing this whole heel thing with Kabuki Warriors and all that. I mean, she's that good with that.
And now she draws that little snake on her face.
Yeah, she had a centipede on there the other day.
Maybe that's what it is.
It looked really good as far as her paint job, makeup job.
Yeah, I didn't like that full face painting thing. It just doesn't look right. Um, but I know that when she turned heel a couple years ago, she did that. It just added almost like a horror film feel to it. You doing something else?
I don't know what that is. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I was hearing something else. Um,
So yeah, this was a really good match. Um, and then 2 nights later, it was Rhea versus Kairi Sane, and Kyrie did not want that match at all.
yeah, she slapping her again, and yeah,
Yeah, she is going to turn on Asuka because enough is enough.
yeah. I see her getting slapped again, and then she's gonna catch her and she's gonna slap her back.
Yeah.
And it's probably gonna be ringside when it happens.
Mm. They should do it as Survivor Series. Do that on a PLE where if she's going to turn her back on her. All right, final match since you only have just a little few minutes left. Final match: Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Uh, with everything leading up to this, I could easily see Seth being the one to win because now he had to win this one because he is 0 for 3 on Cody.
Hmm.
Uh, Seeing how he had been on the interviews and when they did the kickoff show where he basically walked out on the interview because he is that focused. I could see Seth being the winner, and plus Cody had won it last year.
Right. I could see them easily giving Cody the ring again, but then storyline wise, it doesn't fit. It wouldn't have fit um, Seth with the whole Vision possibly, moving on without him. Of course, with the injury that happened during the match, they went ahead and pushed that forward a few months. But yeah, I could see Seth winning this one. And when he was talking about, he's got to do this on his own, I'm like, well, he's going to wind up cheating somehow or another to win by himself. And of course he did. And
Well,
then, look,
not exactly. You said he was going to have interference,
yeah,
but he didn't. However, he used that watch that Cody had given him at WrestleMania 40.
right. And that was a good little bit of storytelling there to tie in everything from the past to where it is now.
Yeah. Um, because Seth had said he had never worn that watch until now. Um, and it would, I guess it would seem appropriate that he used the watch against Cody so that he could get the win.
Right.
Um, there goes your phone again. Um,
Hmm.
it is, it also was a very good match. Um, but then again, with those two, every match they have had have been great matches. It's just a it's just a shame that Seth got hurt when he did.
Yeah, and it's one of those freak things. The way he landed um, on that coast to coast headbutt, which I didn't see anything devastating far as how he got injured. It's just the way he landed, from what I can tell.
He landed on his hand
Yeah,
and it did something to his shoulder.
yeah. So it wasn't like you know, it wasn't an easy, noticeable. Oh, that's why he got hurt. You
Yeah.
know. Um,
But you could see him holding his shoulder close, and
right after that,
it did not long after that.
yeah, it was right after that when he landed, and then he's pulling Cody over. He's got his arm just kind of draped down. He's trying to pull him with one arm. I
Yeah.
was like, uh-oh, he's hurt. Of course,
Well,
he
he
was
had to
less
get
than
that
that.
watch first, which is clear on the other side of the ring,
Hmm.
and then get the referee distracted. I don't remember how he got him distracted, but he was able to get the referee behind Cody so that he could be able to hit him with that watch.
Right. They kind of tied together, and Cody kind of was put behind Seth, and he kind of pushed him or something. And of course, Seth pushed the ref, and the ref kind of ducked down a little bit, did some kind of thing. That's when he got caught with the watch.
And then he did two curb stomps.
Hmm.
One was a normal curb stomp, and then he got up on the middle rope
Right.
and did that one, and that was what put him away.
Yeah, but you could tell he was hurt towards the end, and then of course, fast forward to Monday night, which I didn't get to watch. I did see the replays on where Ron Breaker speared Seth
Yeah,
in the
they
ring, and
the way that was, um, they had already shown the credits. Executive producer, right before they end the show, they had already done the credit, and Rollins was the one was holding up his title and everything, and that was how normally a show would end. And then all of a sudden, here comes Braun, and the show goes on for like 4 more minutes.
okay,
Um,
which all set up for him having shoulder surgery, and from what I understand, he's going to have surgery on it. From what I read, which means they're going to vacate the title. Either that, or he's going to have to drop the title to somebody. Which it depending on how bad he's injured. If he's really injured where he can't really wrestle, he's gonna have to drop the title.
well, right before that, they had that triple threat match with CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. Um, that was going to determine the number one contender for Seth's title. CM Punk won, and now this whole thing with Seth being injured, I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go with that. Um,
If he's injured enough to where he can't wrestle, and he's gonna have surgery. And it may be the point where they do it with like Cody did when he had that tear. It's like you can wrestle, you're not gonna do any more damage than you already done. So
right. Um, and and it's kind of ironic when you think about it, because this injury is going to cause him to vacate the title. But when you think about the way that he won the title by faking an injury,
yeah, kind of. You think they're throwing? You think it's a work?
yeah, that there are reports out there right now that a lot of the a lot of the backstage people are like, okay, I'm just going to sit and wait and see what happens because I'm not going to buy this thing again because that whole thing with the knee.
That's
Uh,
true. It could be a work. But the whole, you know, They were talking about. I've heard reports where they were talking about. They're gonna turn on Rollins later on, but because of the injury, they had to do it quicker.
Yeah,
Which,
it wasn't supposed to be until after WrestleMania, from what I read.
which they could be. They got that creative stuff going, and it's like, let's go ahead and do it now, and we'll have him fake this injury on the shoulder. And I see, I see this happening. If he fights CM Punk, then they're going to get involved in the match, and CM Punk is going to wind up winning that match because of Braun Breaker and them interfering.
You have to wait and see, because Saturday night's main event is on November 1st. So it's a week from this coming 2 weeks from yesterday.
Hmm.
Um, let's see.
But November 1st, I'm off that day.
Okay. Um,
I work the next day.
okay, then you probably won't be able to do a a review right after that, would you?
Wonder if we could do a review while we watch.
Uh,
No, we talked about doing that one time before.
we have. Um, but the question is, if we do that, we would have to have everything on silent because we wouldn't even be able to have the audio go through on the show,
Right.
and they would nail that in a heartbeat.
Hmm.
We can try that. The only thing that I'd be concerned about is what are we going to miss if they make some sort of special announcement during the show or what?
I wonder. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Depending on what time they get done with the show, we could go on right afterwards,
Yeah.
right after the show, and do a review right after.
Well, for you, it'll be from 7 to 9. What time do you have to be in bed to be up for work the next day?
It don't matter.
Okay.
12. I can go to bed by 12. I'll be fine. So,
All right. As of right now, there are no matches announced for Saturday night's main event. CM Punk is on the poster. Um, so I think that they were intending on Seth and Punk, but and maybe they might still try to do that. I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. Now they do have it already announced. John Cena for the next Saturday night's main event on December 13th. So, but we'll get there when we get there. Um, Overall, Crown Jewel was a very good event, much better than WrestlePalooza. Um, I would say all the right people won, although I was
yeah.
still fully expecting EO to turn on Rhea. Um, so I guess that stay tuned for that. And now the vision is without Seth Rollins. So I don't know if this is going to be the last. No, they said that tomorrow they are going to address Seth Rollins and the world title.
So I guess we'll find out tomorrow night
Yes.
on all this. And we'll find out more, I guess, what's going to happen storyline wise tomorrow night. Uh, kind of just a quick thing. Fatu is Jacob Fatu, from what I understand, is out with a non-wrestling injury. Maria is
Yes, he's
got a broken nose from
Rhea had a broken nose. I saw the picture. She was all bruised up.
yeah,
Um, Jacob Fatu's been having dental work done, so that's why Friday night they did that whole thing with him being bloody and teeth on the floor. So he was doing that. An initial report, I don't even remember where the report came from. They said that Jacob would be out for a very long time, but the way that is looking, he'll be back before the end of the year probably.
probably wisdom teeth or something.
Yeah. Um, who else is hurt?
Well, Liv Morgan's still out. I figure she'll come back at Royal Rumble.
Let's see. What? Why? How does
She's
she
got a,
get hurt again? Remind me.
she's got a shoulder injury.
Shoulder. Okay. Now for a shoulder, that's usually about 4 or 5 months.
Um, what's the other one?
So Rumble would be about the right time.
Zoe Stark's out for a knee.
Yep. She said that she's had some setback on that one. But no, no, no. She thought she had setback and ended up not being the case. Let's see. I'm going. Okay, personnel. Uh, Austin Theory is out. Chad Gable is out. For Austin Theory, it doesn't say what injury he has. Chad Gable is out for a shoulder, so he might come back at the Rumble too. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens when Chad Gable comes back, and then you have Ludwig Kaiser as El Grande Americano. Um, okay, Gunther is still out for his nose.
Hmm.
Um, but there's a lot of speculation saying that he's going to be John Cena's last opponent. Rey Mysterio's out for a torn groin. I have no idea how long something like that would heal. Liv Morgan for dislocated shoulder. Naomi because she's pregnant. Zoe Stark for okay. Where'd you go, Donald? And try to get him back on here.
Technical error.
What happened there?
I was closing all these things off and I accidentally hit the wrong one. Shut the screen down.
Okay. So I'm I'm just going through the injured list here. Zoe Stark for a torn ALC. Um, Apollo Cruz is out for a torn pec. Alton Prince is injured. Don't know what it is. Alton Prince is one pretty deadly.
Mm.
So that's why we've been seeing the other guy, um, Kit Wilson, doing his stuff. Um, okay, Jacob Fatu with the teeth. Kevin Owens with the neck injury, which, by the way, he has had surgery on that. Um, and the way that is looking at it is his recovery is going to take him beyond WrestleMania 42. So that's going to be another WrestleMania he'll end up missing. Uh, Piper Niven has an unknown injury. Uh, Nikki Bella has a ruptured breast implant. Remember that one?
I do.
No, not ruptured, moved. I,
Moved.
I think that's what they. I think that's what people said, that it moved because
Moved, ruptured. You know, she's got to have
well,
surgery to make it fixed.
Piper did a splash on her
Hmm.
and it did something to it. I think they said it moved. I don't know how that's possible, but it moved.
If it moved, then it tore muscle fiber and stuff.
Maybe, I don't know.
I would say.
Uh, Noam Dar is out. This is NXT now, and
Hmm.
Noam had just returned, so I have a feeling they're probably going to end up releasing him because he gets injured so much. Uh, now we're getting into names that I'm not real familiar with. NXT Women's Adriana Rizzo has a torn ACL and meniscus.
Hmm.
Oh, and that's it. Let's see. Nobody from Men's Evolve is out. We have two people from Women's Evolve. Aria Bennett and Brinley Reese. I don't know them. One's a torn ACL, one's a shoulder injury. Um, Charles Robinson was wearing a boot. He had broken his foot, but he's out of that boot now. He just came back recently. Um,
Well,
and
he's been around for a long time.
yeah, he's 60 years old and looks pretty damn good for his age too.
Yet still active.
Right. And that's all the injuries.
All right.
So
Well, I've got to run, so I guess we will see when the next show is. Hopefully,
well, Halloween Havoc is Saturday, so that's 6 days. Um, I don't know if I'm probably going to end up missing the first hour of it. It just depends on when I get out of Para Unity.
that's an NXT event.
That's NXT.
Okay. I'm off the 26th. I'm busy the 25th. I'd have to play it by ear and see. Um, there's a couple things that got to take place. Then I may have to move some stuff from the 25th to the 26th.
Okay.
But
Well, according to my schedule, I'm supposed to be on the road on the 26th, so may not even be able to do a show that day. I don't know yet.
okay,
Um, because starting the 26th, I'm supposed to be on the road every other day for a couple weeks.
okay,
Um, Saturday night's main event, I'm actually on the road that day, but I'll make sure that it's early so that I can be home in time to watch this. Then we can figure out what we're going to do, whether if we're going to try to do something during the show or after or what.
okay.
So
All right, sounds good.
yeah, we'll just play it by ear like
Yep.
we always do. Hey, we're not even 2 hours into the show yet.
No, 146. That's
Yeah,
pretty good. Pretty good for 5 matches.
and talk and really going off into other directions.
Different topics. That's always a given.
Yeah. All right. Well, until next time, thank you everybody for playing along with us. And nice to have a new viewer from the UK, no less.
Yeah.
And we will see you all next
On
time.
the next show.
Yeah, whenever
Tune
that is.
in.
See you guys later.